Starting to the top of the map, we have the Protoss player with a 2-1 lead in the best of 5 here at the HOT6ix Cup. It is Soul Deer. Won the last game, got a little bit lucky. You could argue that his opponent did not bring the detection that he had with this attack. At the bottom we have the Zerg player for Samsung Galaxy Khan. It is
Samsung Galaxy Khan Ro8.
It's kind of a funny clan or team name, I guess. Imagine like Apple iPhone Tasia. Like yeah, I mean, I guess so.
And, the only thing that would accomplish is that I would immediately lose all respect for Tasia.
Yeah, you're one of those iPhone haters.
Yeah.
That's weird, Caldor. I like iPhone.
That's okay. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, you think I'm not perfect, do you? Well, you got to talk to Tasis because he thinks I'm perfect.
Dude, I've been with you at the gym.
Yeah, that's true. You see me naked. I'm far from perfect. All right. Anyways, back to StarCraft. Nexus first versus Hatch first.
Yeah. But you know what? The Samsung Galaxy guys are actually, they are insane. The B teamers of them, they are currently trying to get into Code A, or are actually in Code A. They are playing so many online tournaments, and it is
Oh, are they
crazy.
just hitting up everything?
Yeah, a lot. Like, they play a lot of the European tournaments, and if you look, for example, at monthly finals, like HOT6ix CUP, they have the top 3 or top 4 sometimes, only them. Like players like Solar, Trent, and others, they show so much potential. It's so great to see them play. I cannot wait for the next qualifier and to see them show off their skills, because some of the games that I casted there, the online tournaments, it was insane. They were toying with opponents that were really strong and just made them look silly with a delay from Korea. That was very impressive.
Yeah,
so
that's
this
hard
team
to do.
Has a lot of crazy talent.
It certainly does. You know, they've got a really great coaching staff, and they've always made really high-end players.
Yep.
I'm a big fan personally of Samsung. I think they're great. Now, let's take a look at what's going on here. The Nexus first versus the Hatchery first. I do like how this pairs up for Deer, personally. And yeah, it was into Forge, but that's going to allow him to get some quick upgrades and everything. Now, we do have a quick speed and then pulling off gas. Do you think we're going to see the fast layer type of play again?
Personally, with how he played it, not really.
But he had opportunities to win.
He had an opportunity to win, but I think that Dia was also a little bit caught off guard with the commitment that we saw from Ro8, and I do not think he will make that. He will fall into that trap again. Like, he probably looked at the last game when he went into the Dark Shrine instead of any other tech. Think about what would have happened if he went, for example, into the Templar Archive instead. The DT tech didn't do anything. The 2 DTs that he warped in got immediately sniped, and then he used them for the defense. But if he instead would have just used the Templar Archive or anything else, he would have been fine against the Hydralisks. We would have had the Storm out so fast that Hydralisk would have just evaporated. So I feel Dia's going to look at this and like, oh yeah, okay, this was a close one. I just have to make sure that in the next game I am not going to be up against this again, or if I am, then I need to react a little bit faster.
I do have to agree with you on that, Keldor. I think that here for Deer, after looking at that last game, if he just goes for something a little bit more normal, because Deer has a gigantic range of builders. This guy actually can and will do any build for Protoss. So I feel like if he goes maybe a more standard route, like a Colossus tech route, that could be difficult for Ro8 to deal with. Especially if he uses a wonky build like before. But we see he's actually going for a third base, just got that quick speed out.
The quick speed just helps him to see what's going on the map. The Zerglings roaming the map already, looking for pylons. And if you just look at the minimap, you can see that he has units everywhere. He has an Overlord to the top right. He sees that pylon, by the way, so he knows exactly that this is a potential location for the Protoss to high tech. We have him with another one poised at the main base, so he can fly that in at any point of time. We have the Salnaga watchtowers taken. He sees everything here. He has perfect vision, and that will give him the just security that he needs at this point. There's nothing worse than you missing a pylon, suddenly there's a warp in, and you find yourself facing zealots in your mineral line.
Alright, well, we do have a layer on the way, as well as a Roach Horn. A Void Ray coming out with a Robo here for Deer. So, will he go for something like Void Ray Colossus, like a longer game? He has started that second Void Ray.
We saw the Void Rays in the last game already, and with the Void Rays, he just took then his third base and was very safe with it, and saw him roaming the map with gateway units, so it could be a very similar style. The Robo alone, I feel that what he wants to do is first of all get that Observer out so that he doesn't get surprised by some wonky build again. And then of course it's great to just react. But we have the Warp Prism first, and we saw him use that Warp Prism on most of those maps. And I mean, you joked about it, will we actually see games where he doesn't kill at least one main base with the Warp Prism? And
well,
that's kind of the style that he was playing so far.
Deer loves to utilize the Warp Prism, and getting such a fast Warp Prism and continuing to make Void Rays, that gives him a very mobile, harassment-based army. And in fact, he's holding the Watchtowers, which means the Warp Prism can get across the map a lot faster without being scouted.
If he doesn't run into that one Overlord that is hovering at the third place. Well, it might be a Zerg. And
I think it's a Zergling.
We have actually, again, the Hydra Den, but this time we have a Roach more too. So Hydra Roach, so he's going to play this a little bit different than last game.
It looks like he's going to go to perhaps try to force field the ramp. He does have 4 gateways, so it's a possibility. And you know what? The Void Ray's coming in.
The Queens are there.
Yeah, they're getting into position. I don't think this is going to end up working out.
There is the force field, but the Roaches are there too. Here comes the Warp in. He just needs to get rid of those few sentries there.
You know what? These Void Rays being kept alive. Good micro here from Ro8, though.
Yeah,
and
but
as he has more units pop out, I think he's going to be safe.
He should be safe here. The units are going to pop out in a second, and the Queens are doing a good job against those Void Rays. So this is not going to work this time. And I am personally very happy about it because I hate nothing more than games that end just because of a force field on the ramp. It's absolutely anticlimactic.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It may still. I feel like he was a little bit indecisive there, trying to target on the Warp Prism.
He lost that Queen, and now he's suddenly on 2 Queens, still against 3 Warp Prism, still against 3 Void Rays. He could have done a little bit more there, but now he forces that back for a second. But you're right. He can still lose this to
he was a little bit indecisive, and he's actually paying for it really badly now. This is a tough situation.
It looked good. It looked really good when he repelled the Void Rays at first, but then he lost the Queen and he didn't take down that third Void Ray that was low in HP. He's gonna fend this off eventually, I feel, but at what cost? I mean, he lost so much already.
You know, I feel like strategically, Ro8's doing fine, but just these very small decisions in these battles are not going his way, like not bringing the Overseer in the last game, or here mis-targeting with Queens for a bit. Now, of course, he does hold it off.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to just straight up die to that, but
the tech is missing now.
Yeah.
He needs something against Colossi.
12 drones lost, that's pretty high.
The Workers loss is definitely an issue. On the other hand, he killed 3 Void Rays, and the Sentries, he killed them as well. The Warp Prism did survive, I feel. But the problem really being, in my opinion, that he's now up against Colossi, where he does not really have... He doesn't have a Spire, we do not see it, a 3 tech, so he's relying on flanks now.
Well, you know what? We do have a pretty decent creep spread here, so he can actually rally down quite quickly. Thermal Lance, though, is about to finish. How many Sentries does he have? I think he only has 2 in that army. Oh, no, he has 4. Never mind. That's actually
5 in total.
Oh, God, 5. Jeez. That's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, we saw his force fields early already, and that looked very strong. A nice split here by Ro8. He really wants to have that flank. Force fields already isolating the third base, and now he's putting the rest of the units just into a bad position here. And this third, I mean, he can't hold this.
No, that's going to fall down, and with it, most of the chances here for Ro8. He's so far behind right now.
Yeah, he definitely is. And there comes the time warp, additional force fields, but more warp ins for Deer. He's already at 70 army supply against 77. 2 base versus 2 base with the third gone. A couple of Roaches popping out of the exit, the third, and they're immediately taken out. The rest of the army trying to run away. Queens with the transfuse. But this is so much firepower that we see for Deer here. Needs to be careful with those Colossi on the other hand.
He's got to be careful here still. That is a very powerful army. You need a lot of force fields to be able to deal with an army like that. And he's already used up quite a few of them.
Yeah, there are only 4 sentries left with very little energy. So going up against this, he needs to be so careful. With a good concave here, he could get close enough to the Colossi to take them out. And without the Colossi, this army is definitely beatable.
Well, here he goes, trying to get up there again. A couple force fields do go down. Gets the Mothership Core, which is a nice kill. Now, if he does actually catch this army, it's not going to be able to just warp home.
Wow, for a second he lost the control of those Colossi there and did not really do anything with them, but they are still alive and they dish out the damage. The force fields are there, and so much Protoss. He moves in, he has the lead in army supply, 80 against 60 right now. Another round of warp wins, hits already for Deer, and Ro8 is trying to do what he can, but this is too late. GG, and Deer takes it with a 3-1.
You know, I feel a little bit bad right now for Ro8.
You never know.
That's like after that last game where he could have taken it to go down like this, where again he should have been able to defend that a lot better. I feel like he did a lot better than Symbol today, but Deer is like he's on another plane of playing right now. These two matches, they were a little bit of a mismatch.
Yeah, I have to agree there. The one thing that I don't like is I'm not a fan of seeing like such a game or such a best of 5 end with a force field on a ramp.
No, I never liked that.
Like, we saw really nice builds. A lot of Protoss players have excellent builds when it comes down to accomplishing this. We saw JYP in Wings of Liberty with Phoenix openings to just kill the Overlords and then sneak in. This build was really well executed. The 3 Ro8 Rays as the support here, making sure that there's not a lot of scouting. And Ro8 actually reacted quite well, so he didn't make it easy for his opponent at all. There were a few Roaches already in the main base, but it's just a little bit anticlimactic to see it.
Yeah. Well,
but I mean,
you know,
control that we saw, the follow-up.
Deer doesn't care what he kills you with as long as he kills you.
Deer played great here. He played a really strong game, and there was just nothing except a lucky snipe on the Colossi that Ro8 could really rely on. There was no Spire for him, no Corruptors. He didn't have anything else that he could really use to get close enough to the Colossi. And in one of the fights, one of the moments, it actually looked for a second like he might be able to get the Colossi.
Yeah.
Deer microed only the gateway units back and left the Colossi a little bit exposed, but...
Well, you know, that ended up working out for him because the Colossi tanked maximum damage, and that was the end of that. So, really good play by Deer. He's going to go into the semifinals to play against Rain, which means, of course, we will have a Protoss in the finals. You know, 2 of the best 3 Protoss in the world, I would say, with Parting up there as well. That's pretty awesome, man.
That was really well done. I mean, we had the 3-0 between Rain and Symbol was, of course, a beatdown. Nothing to be said about that. Deer versus Ro8. I feel that 3-1 doesn't really do the series justice. Ro8 had his chances here. I'm a little bit sad that he lost that one game. He made the wrong decision with the Overseers. That would have made the entire series, I feel, very close because Deer suddenly would have found himself with the back to the wall. And that would have put him in an interesting spot, and I would have loved to see how he reacts to the situation.
And, you know, Game 5 is always very exciting as well, but you can't always have it that way. I think tomorrow, though, we could definitely have some Game 5s.
Yeah.
With Sue against Maru and Bomber against Sulky.
Those are a few great matches.
Those are really good matches there, if you ask me. I feel like tomorrow's matches are just going to be better than today's.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with this. I personally prefer Zerg versus Terran in terms of excitement when it comes to the matchup itself. Today we saw a couple of good games, but as you already said, it was a bit of a mismatch there.
It was. And guys, again, please do remember, please do spread the word. GOM TV is now GOM EXP. And we have all sorts of sales on. So just read this here, go visit the website, and
go to gomtv.net and have a look at the forum. All the details are listed there once again, so check that out. If you're unsure about one or a few of those things, you will find everything in there.
That's right. So, it has been extremely fun here today, Kaldor. Thank you so much for casting with me here today. Thank you guys for watching. We hope that you enjoyed, and make sure you tune in tomorrow, the next day, and then 2 days after that, because the HOT6ix CUP it's going to be really quick and really great.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, so definitely check that out, and we're also going to see you guys tomorrow again for the second day of the HOT6ix CUP. Hope you enjoyed the matches today. Have a great night. Bye-bye.